Okay, hello everybody. This is my first video blog, or vlog as they call it, in the internet's world, the web world, for Suicide Talks and the Suicide Talks page. And Cindy, thank you so much for having me here as a new contributor. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kelley Lynn, and I am widowed. And I was widowed 5.5 years ago. It'll be 6 years actually in July, when my husband Don went to work one morning and never came home. And he had a massive heart attack, no symptoms, no warnings, no nothing, no goodbye. Just out the door, never saw him again, like a terrible magic trick. Poof, gone. And so he did not die by suicide. However, I myself have a lot of suicides, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, alcoholism, addictions, you name it, in my family and in my life. And so trauma, a lot of trauma in my life personally, besides the death of my husband 20 years ago. I am a rape survivor as well. And 20 years ago, I was brutally and violently raped in my apartment in the middle of the night by what was at the time an ex-boyfriend who I had just broken up with a couple weeks before. And I neglected to remember that I had given him a key to my apartment. And so he had my key to my apartment, and he used that key to get in the middle of the night and to break in. And while I was asleep, and he came in and got on top of me and did unspeakable things and said unspeakable things, and burned me with a lighter and used chloroform and choked me and tried to kill me, and then told me that he wasn't going to kill me. He was going to leave me for dead because I wasn't worth it. I wasn't worth killing. So the things he said to me while these atrocious things were going on were in a way worse than what he actually did to me physically, even though what he did to me physically was really horrific. And it's something that stays with me forever. So I have a lot of trauma and PTSD and anxiety and panic attacks and all that stuff from that 20 years ago, and also from my husband's sudden death. And from, just everything that comes along with both of those things. So I am here to talk about all that stuff over, once a week or so. I'm going to be doing these video blogs. And so I hope that you guys will start asking me any questions that you might have for me about any of those issues: grief, loss, trauma, all of it. And I hope that next time I come on next week, there'll be some questions to answer. But for now, I'm going to do sort of an intro and a little talking about my go-to addiction because of all the trauma and the loss in my life, which is food. So food is kind of how I started to deal with everything that happened to me. When I was raped, I started to go into a depression, and I gained a ton of weight, and I got up to probably 360 pounds or so. I stopped counting. I stopped looking at the scale after a while because it was so awful. I just stopped I had no mirrors in my house. And I just went in a corner and ate. I did not go to therapy. I did not do anything healthy for a couple of years at least. I didn't tell anybody what happened to me because I was shamed early on when I called a hotline, a rape hotline, and they told me basically that he didn't break in because I gave him the key. And so I don't know, they just made me feel really stupid almost for complaining about it. It was bad. So I kind of shut up about it. I didn't say anything about it publicly until this past year, actually. And before that, I had only told my husband and a few other people, very close friends and a grief counselor. But my husband, who died 5 years ago, was the only one who knew. And so when he died, it was almost like I had to go through the trauma all over again, because now, this person that was next to me in bed every night, who made me feel safe all the time and who got me through the nightmares I would have in the middle of the night, was now gone. And so now I had to somehow figure it out again. And so when my husband Don met me, I was huge. I was much bigger than I am now. I've lost a lot of weight since then, but I'm still working on it, and I still have 75 more pounds to lose. But it's a constant struggle. So today I just wanted to kind of talk about that for a little bit. I'm a comedian and a writer, so I kind of use comedy and writing to help myself and others heal. And so I do, find humor in a lot of these things, and I have kind of a dark sense of humor. So you will find that when you watch my future videos coming up as well. But I've never been a drinker. There's a lot of alcoholism in my family, like a lot, and every single person that has drank in my family on my dad's side is dead. They're dead because they drank. So then there's literally like 7 or 8 of them that are dead because of alcohol. So I try not to go there because I'm so terrified of it. And drugs have never been my thing. So I kind of go to Pepperidge Farm cake and cupcakes and Cracker Barrel. What is this? Chocolate peanut butter fudge. Oh my God. So good. So yeah, I've been known to sit in my car and just kind of eat an entire cake, like a bakery cake from, a grocery store with a fork. So that's nice. Or Pepperidge Farm cookies and, Girl Scout cookies and anything involving gravy and fried food. And I mean, you name it, anything bad, I love it. So, and having an addiction to food is really hard because you have to eat every day. You have to eat, like, to survive and to live. You can't not eat. So every time you eat, you have to make a choice, like, to make a good choice and a healthy choice. And that's what I'm struggling with. Am I eating this because I'm emotional? Am I eating this because I'm bored? Or am I eating this because I'm lonely? Am I eating this because I'm stuffing my emotions filled with peanut butter? Or am I eating this because, I need to eat? So, and it's often one of the other things besides needing to eat, the reason that I'm eating it. But when I went through the rape, this is the one thing I want to end with because I have to end this in 8 minutes. That went by fast. When I went through the rape, afterwards, I gained a whole bunch of weight over like a year's time or so because I was so depressed. I literally sat in my apartment every night after work and I would just like curl up in a corner and not move. And I just fell into this state of depression that, was horrible. And I ate and ate and ate and ate. And the reason I did that, I know this now, I didn't know this then, but the reason I did that was because I was trying to protect myself, I guess. And I thought, the screwed up part of my head thought, if I eat and I just get so big, nobody will ever want me again. Nobody will ever want to touch me again. No man will ever want to be with me again physically. And if that happens, then no man can ever hurt me again. And no man can ever do what that guy did to me. And I thought I was protecting myself by literally building like this fat shield. And it doesn't work that way because I've still been hurt. You can still be hurt at that weight, at any weight. So if you guys have any questions for me, I would love to answer them. Just please leave them in the comments. And then next time I will address your questions to start my next video. And thank you again to Cindy. And I really, really look forward to talking more about all this stuff. Like I said, anxiety, panic attacks, PTSD, depression, and for me, the food addiction and how it's played into my life and how I've tried to fix it a little bit over the past year or so. I have gotten a lot healthier in the past year or so. And I definitely love to help some other people to get there too, but it's a daily struggle. And so we'll talk a lot about all that stuff in future videos. Thank you so much for having me, and I will see you next time. Thank you.